Agents, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Open, Chicago with the lead. Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5, touchdown Bears!
Time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that page as well. Okay, do us that favor. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page, and now you're following the show's page as well. If you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, I like that kind of party. And if you're not following us on YouTube, what? All right, listen. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, and then click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it. All right, click that, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. If you're watching us on our mobile app, yay. I like that kind of party, baby. Listen, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We have a mobile app. Listen, wherever you get your apps from, all right? Whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Macy's, Woolworth, Montgomery Ward, wherever you get your apps from, you go there, you download it, Sports Zone, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. You take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. And if you are watching us on our Roku channel, thank you, Betty Mosh. Thank you, Betty Mosh. Man. Listen, if you don't know what? Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. Stop it. We have our own Roku channel. Yes, we do. So do us a favor. If you have a Roku device, a Roku TV in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's tile. Download it, just like you're seeing here. Put a smack dab in the middle of Netflix, Apple TV Plus, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Prime, Disney Plus, Stars, Showtime. Put a smack dab in the middle of all of them. And if you have multiple Roku TVs in the house, do us a favor, like my man Charles did the other day. Download them to all the Roku TVs in the house. Just please do us that favor. Por favor, Por favor. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at The Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. We have a great show for you today, but we need you to get interactive with us today. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, you can't get interactive with us on our Roku, and that's unfortunate. But you know what? Watch us on the Roku and send us a quick message or so on one of the other platforms. So if you're on the other platforms as well, just do us a favor. On that platform, leave a question or comment. We'll put it up here on the screen. Okay. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that's what makes this the best Chicago sports talk morning show around, is you. All right, and bring it all. We want all that smoke. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks. What is this? What is this? Funniness. I have a little fuzzy. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks. We want all of them. All right, we ain't scared of nothing over here. We want your participation. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Man, this thing is jumping already. My man Cornelius Squalls, what up? What up? 11 days to training camp. I hear you, Papa. I hear you. Actually, 11 days until they report to training camp. I think it's 12 days till they get on the field. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. Yes, sir. It is Friday. I think there's supposed to be an emoji. Face orange, raised eyebrow, hand pink waving. I think that was an emoji that didn't transfer over. And if he's around, that means Jeremiah and Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth are close by. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the love and the support. My man Cornelius, I said, what up already? My Shawn Walls in the house. What up? Monica, good morning, mija. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Love you. Love you dearly. I appreciate it. And all the love and the support from your end. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. I know more of the usual suspects are going to tune in today as the show goes on. All right, so people have a late start. Some might have gone out last night or a little rough around the edges from partaking in some in some alcoholic beverages last night. You might be a little slow. I get it. It's Friday. It's a weekend. It happens. It happens to all of us. Happened to me this morning. It was rough going to CrossFit this morning at 5. Man, it was tough. It was tough. And then, you know what? Let me give a big shout out. Let me give a big shout out to, see, this is why coaching is so important. Okay? So today, our plan for CrossFit was supposed to be it's going to be a beast, man. It was going to be a beast. And for our 5 o'clock class, here's the workout that it was supposed to be. Ay, the madre way. Damn you. I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just did that. That's so funny. That's crazy. I don't know why I did that. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Why did I do? I was scrolling up and I went to scroll up one more time. I swiped the thing out. Anyway, the workout was going to be tough. It was a tough one this morning. And, our coach, Shawn Coffey, he looked at it and he's talking to one of the other coaches. She was coaching the 6 o'clock class, but she was taking the regular, our 5 o'clock class. And he talked with her. I was like, look, there's 6 minutes that we're supposed to do this one exercise, this one combo. He goes, and then we're working to a heavy deadlift. All right. And he's like, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for He's like, so you know what? Let's just eliminate the first part and just work up to a heavy deadlift. All right, it'll give us time to warm up properly get ready. And then he adjusted the last part of the workout. Just changed one of the exercises, and it made the workout so much better. See, now that might not have been a good thing, or might not have been necessary at the, what is there, a 9 o'clock class? All right, but or the 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock class, the evening classes, because you're already up, your body's moving, you've had a whole day. Okay, but 5 in the morning, most of us are still barely waking up. Okay, and to realize you're not going to be at your full strength, your muscles aren't going to be completely stretched and warm as they would be in the afternoon, was a good call on his part looking at the workout, and he just altered it. Took some key exercises out, changed them with some other exercises that are more beneficial to us as the athlete, and it worked out really, really well. Still got a great sweat. I was sweating like a sweater, and I got it in. It was good. It was fun. So big shout out to Shawn Coffey today, because this is what coaches do, right? Whether it's coaching us at CrossFit or coaching a baseball team, a football team, basketball team, hockey team, soccer team, track team, you feel the pulse. And you got to feel the pulse of your team. Okay, you push-ups, you push them, but if it's something that you can do they can get in an equally effective workout without putting the athletes at risk, then you do it. And he did. So again, big shout out to Shawn. I appreciate. I told him this after. I was like, I said, dude, that was a great call. That was a great call. So I digress. I'm excited. Juniors always got jokes, huh? Geriatric CrossFit. Dude, you can't even say CrossFit without your back tightening up. You can't even say it. You got jokes. It's all right. Anyway. Hey, next time you post, my back is locking up, I can't sleep, I'm gonna put with your old geriatric ass. Oh man, dude, I'm telling you, me and Junior give each other shit all the time. He's turning 76. Oh man, no, what are you turning to? 56 maybe. Yeah, that's what you're turning, 56. But anyway, I'm excited. We had a good show, and you know what? Today's show is gonna be a lot of your participations and your questions. We got a lot to talk about. Lord have mercy. We got baseball to talk about. We got 2 baseball teams that are resuming here in the city, of course. But they're resuming action today. Cubs are at home at Wrigley. The Sox are on the road in ATL. We're going to talk about those guys. Where are they going? What do we expect from them? Buyers, sellers? Sox looks like they're buyers, but for real? Bulls, we got some Bulls news as well. And then we still have some more Northwestern fallout. My goodness. More fallout from Northwestern. A once proud program is going through a tough time right now. It's going through a very tough time. I think they'll make it through. Oh my God. I told you. That T. Whoo, Charlie. So there's tons to talk about. And I can't wait to get started with you. But I would definitely want to hear your questions. Add a lot of your questions to the conversation today, a lot more than we usually do. So get your questions coming. Fire them out when we start talking. We're going to talk baseball after the top of the morning segment. We're going to talk baseball at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, I have a little rant about this whole thing, part of the Northwestern situation. And then 10:30, I saw a movie the other day, and many of you have heard about it. I don't know how many have seen it. I want to give you just a quick review. All right. And then we'll let you go off on the weekend for, let's see, what's la temperatura esta fin de semana? It said 90 today, shuddy. 90 today, 86 tomorrow, 84 Sunday, 81 Monday, 84 Tuesday. Man, okie dokie, Smokey. Okay. It's going to be a warm one. It's going to be a hot one. We got to, if you're doing stuff this weekend, which I am, make sure you're aware. If you're going to, this is storms mainly at night. So if you're going to the Windy City Smokeout, first of all, it's going to be a great time. It started yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Saturday, partly sunny, scattered storms ending. Sunday, 84, sunny and dry. So today and Sunday will probably be great days for you to go to the Windy City Smokeout. If you're a country music fan, I highly recommend it. If you're not a country music fan, but you like barbecue, I highly recommend it. And no, I'm not working it. My cousin, I worked it last year. My cousin, his security company had it, was staffing it last year, but they're not doing it this year. I was a little sad. Not annoyed. I was sad. I was like, oh, it was fun. I'm not a country music guy at all. But it was fun. It was actually fun. So, yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry I can't work it. I was when I reached out to him yesterday and he informed me, and I was like, man, dude, that stinks. I was actually looking forward to it. Ni modo. But it's going to be all right. It'll be all right. So then there's other fests going on in and around Chicago, Chicagoland area. Block parties. I have one to go to Saturday. It's going to be fun. This weekend is going to be very, very fun. But guys, let's get it cracking. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. You know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
The first top of the morning topic. Man, you know what? We're getting back into it. Baseball, baby. Baseball is back. Where'd you go, foo-foo? The White Sox, my good guys. They travel to the ATL for a 3-game set against the Atlanta Braves. Michael Kopech, he's on the bump today for the good guys. He's 3-7 with a 4.08 ERA. He's going up against Charlie Morton, who's 9-3 with a 3.43 ERA. You know, Michael Kopech is one of those guys. We're waiting for him. He's had such an up and down career, mostly down. Some flashes of excellence and brilliance. Just never, ever able to stay healthy. Then when he was healthy, he had I don't want, if I say it the way I want to say it, it sounds like it's going to come out sounding a certain way that I don't want it to sound. He was dealing with mental health issues at another point in his tenure with the White Sox. And he's never lived up to the billing, the expectation that came with him. And it's unfortunate because when on, this guy is amazing. When off, boy, is he off. And it's frustrating. I use that word all the time with this team because of the potential, because of the talent, because of what we've seen, because of the flashes. And for him to not be able to do that consistently is what really, really gets White Sox fans. And it's not easy. Everybody's not going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't care how much hype you have coming out or coming into the league. The league is good. The league figures you out. So the question is, 1, what's your mental fortitude? 2, how fast can you figure out the league once they figured you out? How fast, how soon can you make adjustments for you? And that's every sport. He's a guy that I really wanted to do well. I think with Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, Giolito, that's a nice 3. Lance Lynn, who's pitching very, very well this year, would have been a great 4. But Dylan Cease has fallen off. He's performing a lot worse than he was last year. Lucas Giolito's having a good year. And as I said, Lance Lynn's having a good year. But Kopech is a 1. He's 3-7 with a 4.08 ERA. Not a good season. Oh, well. Are people going to be asking for him at the trade deadline? I don't know. Maybe they have. It's going to be interesting to find out. It's going to be very interesting to find out because he's a guy that I'd like to see stay for another year or so. See if we can get a full year of him being healthy. Mental health aside, or mental health being good, and him physically being good, that would be huge for us to see what we really, really have. Anyway, I said they head down to the Braves and have the lowest ERA for starting rotation in the majors. And the White Sox are at the bottom for batting average or runs per game. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. I don't believe so. All right, Atlanta's is 60-29. They're atop the NL East. They have Major League Baseball's best record. It's not looking good. But they play tonight, 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago on the television side, 1000 AM on the radio side. Good luck, because that's all I could wish you, because this team, as I said before, this team needs an enema. Moving on, the next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs host the Red Sox, the Bo Sox, the Carmines at Wrigley Field for a weekend set. The Professor, Kyle Hendricks, he's on the bump today for the Northsiders. He's 3-3 with a 3.04 ERA. He's going against Brian Bello. Brian Bello is his name, if you pronounce it in Spanish. Brian Bello. He's 6-5 with a 3.04 ERA. The Cubs are coming off this All-Star break, and what are they doing? Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Some people don't even know. My guy Junior had in the comments, I don't even know what they're going to be at the trade deadline. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. So Junior thinks the Cubs will probably be sellers like the Sox. Well, they were buying. They bought Mike Mayers. And you know what? No, I didn't see this. Jalen Carter being sued by a former Georgia staffer in the crash. I didn't see that. But you knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. All right, this guy's going to be a multimillionaire, and the family of some of the people, I believe, are trying to sue him too. So he's got a lot of legal issues he's got to deal with. All right, but I digress. Cubs can make a statement. And trust me, Boston's not great. Boston is not great. They're 48-43. All right, still better record than the Cubs. Cubs are 5 under. Boston's 5 over. It's a chance to make a statement. It's a chance to make a statement. A team that's very actually good, an above 500 team for the Cubs. So the professor's on the bump today for them. Can they get a nice win here at Wrigley? It's going to be packed. You know, when you get old blue bloods, Cubs, Yankees, Cubs, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers. All right, hell, even Cubs, maybe Tigers. Wrigley Field is pretty packed most of the time. It gets sold out for these types of series. I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 games are sold out. All right, because one, you don't see the Boston Red Sox a lot. All right, and luckily this is the first year that everyone is you have to play everybody. Okay. So the Cubs could have been on the road at Fenway Park, but both Sox are here. So if you're a traditionalist, if you're an AL, if you like the Bo Sox and you just don't like the White Sox, you just go to Sox Park when they're playing Boston. Well, you know what? You may want to take a trip up to Wrigley because now you're hitting another historic field. 2 historic franchises with, 2 of the last iconic stadiums in Major League Baseball. Yeah, it'd be a good time. I would suggest it if you're a Cub fan. Or if you're not a Cub fan, if you're a Boston fan, get down to Wrigley. I think they have a few bars or something you can go to and have a drink down there. I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Fun. Again, a fun weekend for baseball fans. Cub fans, you're looking to see what your Cubs can do. I mean, if you can take 2 out of 3 from the Boston Red Sox, wicked pissa, that'd be great. Sox, if you could take 2 out of 3 from the Braves, the ATL Braves, that'd be phenomenal. I don't think the Sox can do it. Cubs, I think, have a good chance to do it. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it plays out. This weekend's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be, depending on what you're doing. If you can't make it and watch a game, just keep it. Check your phone. Most of you have the 4-Letter Network downloaded, as a widget, and you can check anytime you want. So when you're running from fest to fest, a birthday party, or graduation party, or trunk parties, because people are already sending the kids off to college, take a listen, see what your team is doing. But what we're going to do here, we're going to take a quick break. All right, on the other side of the topic, we'll finish up. We'll have more top of the morning topics, and then we'll get into some stuff. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. Fake one way. Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Everybody in a work zone is someone somebody. This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Order up. When I want to give up, I try to focus on getting to the next minute, then the next hour, and the next day.
It might not seem like it right now, but there are people out there like me who want to listen and support you for the long haul.
And I found someone to talk to, someone who listened.
You are not alone.
Hey, this is Dr. J, and I listen to Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Yeah, that's for sure. Little Wildcat. And it's Cam Porter, the backup running back, who took the direct snap. Porter, their leading rusher in 2020 as a freshman here. Only played against Wisconsin. It was the first live game action he'd seen in 2 years. Held back in there, he turned the corner. Embodies everything they want in a Northwestern athlete. Trick play and a touchdown! They sent the quarterback Sullivan in motion to the right. Hull took the snap and he has a 16-yard score.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of ABC and ESPN, same parent company. Those the Northwestern Wildcats, and as you saw, they fired. We reported it last week or earlier this week. They fired Pat Fitzgerald, their head coach of 17 seasons. Some news came out. Some more Northwestern news came out. Northwestern just fired their baseball coach. And there was a lot of talk about him to begin with, actually, even before this. All right, Jim Foster is the baseball coach. He was released. He was fired yesterday. And he was fired for abusive behavior. According to the Sun Times, all right, this article was by the staff. It said Foster was the subject of an unrelated investigation that found he engaged in abusive behavior. Okay. Assistant baseball White Sox outfielder Brian Anderson. He will take over that program. So Brian Anderson was on the staff. And now that this gentleman's gone, it's a name that people are familiar with. It's a name that definitely a clean-cut, all-American kind of guy. This is what Derek Gregg, the athletic director, said. He said, quote, "Nothing will ever be more important to Northwestern than providing its students a place that allows them to develop in the classroom, in the community, and in competition at the absolute highest level, and building a culture which allows our staff to thrive. This has been an ongoing situation, and many factors were considered before reaching this resolution. As the director of athletics, I take ownership of our head coaching hires, and we will share our next steps as they unfold." Unquote. All right, Brian Anderson, if you don't remember, he was a first-round pick for the Sox in 2003. Played 5 seasons with him, especially even that World Series title run in 2005. Yeah. He was one of 5 assistants that were brought in this past offseason. All right, he was at North Dakota State before. I'm sorry, no, that's another one, Braun. Yeah, Ron, that's for the football team. So Northwest is going through a shakeup right now. They're going through a big time shakeup. Crazy for a school so staunch in its doing it the right way type of ads, almost condescending at times. Northwestern had an air about them. I know they weren't very good. They weren't one of the elite or consistently elite teams or programs, basketball, football, baseball. Okay. But they still had this air about them that they seemed to kind of look down their nose at a lot of people because they were Northwestern. Is the way I felt. Some could say people that Holy Cross did as well where I went. I could see that. And that's a fair assessment. But a school that was so academic and so clean. You know, Northwestern's teams were the butt of everyone's. Northwestern was the butt of so many jokes from basketball, and football, and baseball, and hockey through the years. And so now they have this scandal is pretty surprising. It's pretty surprising. Some would say it's karma. I don't know if I'd say that. I don't know. But I've heard some people say it's karma. But now they're front and center, front page, or the back page of every sports, of damn near every newspaper on Monday for sure, or Tuesday, when they fired Pat Fitzgerald. Now, no one really gives a damn about the baseball coach because baseball is not a huge revenue generating sport. So basically, the hell with it. No one cares. If the Pat Fitzgerald situation hadn't reared its ugly head, guess what? It would have been a small little one paragraph thing about this baseball coach's firing in the Sun Times, and people would have moved on. Many people probably would have missed it. And under the Sports Wire, see they got Sports Wire, so like all the different things that happen, somewhat important to you, but not very. It would have been in there. But because of the Pat Fitzgerald situation, now it's up on the front page or the back page as well. Okay. Northwestern has a lot to they got to get their house in order. They have to get their house in order. And you know what? We'll talk a little more about them at 10 o'clock. Let's talk to these baseball teams. Cubs, Sox are back in action today, baby. I am so excited for my White Sox. Why? I don't know. They're probably going to shit the bed. Probably lose 2 out of 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get swept. Nor would I be surprised if they sweep this team. That's the crazy part. That's the part that's most frustrating to Sox fans, is that you get a team like this, Atlanta, team with the best record in baseball, taking on the White Sox. Team is just a piss poor team, and that might be an insult to piss poor teams. The White Sox have the ability to get swept by the Atlanta Braves, and they have the ability to sweep the Atlanta Braves. I mean, of course, that's with great pitching, good hitting, timely hitting. Lou Bob got to come back, see if he's playing tonight or not because of his strained calf. Eloy, TA, all those guys. Vaughn, Sheets driving in runs, getting key hits when necessary. Getting down runners on the base pass, get them on, get them over, get them in, stealing bases. But they have the talent to do so. Will they? That's anybody's guess. That's anybody's guess. And you know what's really weird? First of all, I'm wondering if Pedro Gifol is going to be a one-and-done guy. You know, like a lot of these basketball players, one and done, 1 year in college, they're done. But he's going to be one and done in the show. That might be because Rick Hahn might go. I don't think Rick Hahn's going to get fired. Rick Hahn may decide to leave. Because that's a big move, firing your general manager. Rick Hahn didn't get this job because he applied for it and there was an opening. He was basically handed the job because they moved Kenny Williams up in the organization. So I don't see them firing Rick Hahn. I don't. He might leave. There's got to come a point in time where you're tired of being a puppet. Got to be a point in time when you're tired of not being able to do what it is you want to do. They said Tony La Russa hire was not his. This one was. Now, did it come with an asterisk saying it's my pick, but it has to be approved? And Jerry? We don't know. He seemed excited. He seemed adamant about this being my pick or his pick. If this is his pick, it's a bad pick. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first half of the season. There's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing that I did not want to see. And then he came out the other day and he said something to the effect of, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. And I get coaches talk, but don't lie to me, man. Don't lie to me. Don't look me in the eye, piss on my shoes, and tell me it's raining. Don't do that. He said something about this team in the first half. The White Sox have laid a foundation for the second half of the season. What kind of fucking foundation did they set? Did they lay down? That they'll lay down? What kind of foundation did they set when guys are missing time with soft tissue injuries, with a tweaked this, a tweaked groin, a tweaked hammy, a tweaked glute, a tweaked ankle? Body language in the gutter. What foundation did they set? And again, I understand you're trying to hype up your team or whatever. Don't lie, dude. Just don't lie to us. I wish one of the questions was like, well, what foundation did they set? What did they do that was great? What did they do that they could build on in the second half of the season? You're 16 games under 500, worst of the season. So what foundation did you lay? The foundation in the first half was 16 games under 500. What the fuck kind of foundation is that? Please tell me. Please. So, yes, Pedro Grifol, you know what? He might actually be a good manager. Not with this team. Not with this team. And you know, I've stated it before. You shouldn't have given an underperforming veteran team to a rookie manager. That was it. That was it. Period. Luis Mejia, he's in the house. Good morning, Baba. Rise and grind. Rise and grind, my friend. So are they going to be sellers? I don't know. They went and got Michael Mayers. Michael Mayers from Kansas City for cash considerations. Was he a dump? Is he a cash dump for Kansas City? I mean, what the hell? And why are we getting him? Why are we getting this dude? You know, what happens often I mean, are you doing them a solid? Is that what you're doing? You doing this team a solid? I mean, why do we need this guy? Or is it because you're getting ready to send off a whole bunch of people and you're already starting to balance it out? Here's who they got. He's acquired for cash considerations. Really? So we're buyers now. We're buyers of people's garbage. We're buyers of people's, and I don't mean he's a garbage person. I mean as a baseball player. How about this? We're buyers of people's subpar players. How's that? No one can construe that as disrespect or say I call him garbage. We're buyers of players that are underperforming. How about them their apples? How about them their apples? And the Cubs, again, I don't know what they're going to do. Do you keep Belly and try and sign him? Because if I'm Corey Bellinger's people, I'm like, we'll wait till the end of the year. The Cubs, you have to initiate talks now if you haven't already. And I don't know if Cody Bellinger is who he's represented by, but trust me, they're like, no. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's just see how this plays out. I did see that, Luis. I read an article or two that the Dodgers would be interested in Lucas Giolito. Okay. And it's Michael Mayers, not Myers. Where do the Cubs go? What do they do? What is on the agenda for the Cubs? Are you buyers? Are you sellers? Do you sell guys to get more prospects? What do you do with Bellinger? I know you want him. This guy is a stud. He's back to form, but he's going to want to get paid. He ain't no fool. He realizes it was a prove-it year. He betted himself, and he's winning. He's up big time. In the trading world, you say he's big time. He's in profit. Big time. Move your stop loss to entry. For those of you who know what I'm talking about. What about all these kids? Christopher Morel. Ian Happ's not one of the kids, but Ian Happ. Are you moving forward with them? And then the pitching. Where do you go? Like, it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. I think up to the deadline, it's going to be tough to see unless the Cubs go on a win streak. They'll probably be buyers. If they go on a losing streak, or if they stay 500, do you think they'll be buyers, or do you think they'll be sellers? But this team's going to the playoffs no time soon, although they technically are not out of it yet. And watch, my luck, they go on a 10-game win, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Watch these sons of guns. Oh, man. That's crazy. My man, Brandon Livingston, checking in from the left coast. Good morning, Papa. How you doing? I appreciate it. Early for you, baby. 7:53, or you got on 7:50 in the morning on the left coast. I appreciate you hopping on and tuning in. Appreciate it big time. Let's see. In other baseball news, see, and this was something that we heard, but now we're hearing more of this. You know, how can I put this? We all have a personal life, all right? They all have personal lives. And you have to remember sometimes personal lives, many times personal lives, it can affect what's going on in the field. Tim Anderson. All right, look at Tim Anderson. It seems like, and remember what I told you? I said, when you're going through a situation, a lot of times athletes will turn to their work. They'll dive into their sport. They'll dive into it. And a lot of times it works. Patrick Kane, MVP. Kobe Bryant. And Tim Anderson, we talked about it most for him because he's going through a lot. He had a lot. He has a child out of wedlock. He's still married. The wife stays with him. But we don't know what it's like at Tim Anderson's home when the kid has to be there. How she treats Tim or how she treats the kid. If she's even around. If she said, you know what, when he's around, I don't want to be around. All that has an effect. Well, now, Lucas Giolito and his wife, his wife, Ariana DeBelco, filed for divorce after 4 years of marriage. And Lucas is having a good year. Lucas seems like he may have turned inward toward his sport, his craft, to kind of get away from all that nonsense, to get away from the drama, to get away from that unnecessary stress that is definitely present. If any of you have ever gotten divorced, you know what I'm talking about. I never have, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I have a lot of friends who I've been there for who've been through divorces, male and female. And man, so many emotions. You know, was I a bad husband? Was I a bad wife? Am I not, you know what I mean? Was it my fault? Was it my, you know, all these things that fly through your head. What's wrong with me? Why is this person filing for divorce for me? Or a whole bunch of psychological things go on. But Lucas, to this point, has been able to put that behind him, and he's been able to pitch very, very well. It helps that it's a contract year for him. It definitely helps. So he can get a little more money. I don't believe they had kids. In my research, I didn't see any. I didn't see them mention any kids. But Monday, via social media, he wrote in that quote, Ariana and I have made a difficult but mutual decision to amicably end our marriage. We have shared many memorable moments and experiences together and want to emphasize our continued friendship and respect for one another. Unquote. Oh, here's. After thoughtful consideration and discussions, we have chosen to follow separate paths while maintaining the bond we have nurtured over the years. While our decision to end our marriage is undoubtedly a significant one, we're each committed to maintaining our friendship and supporting each other as we enter this new phase of our respective lives. So she filed it. DeBelco filed for divorce in a California court. Okay. She's taking half his stuff. Half his stuff. You're darn right. Divorce is such a crazy, crazy game. And half of it is just knowing the rules, knowing where to file. Because she can get half his shit. I want to help Eddie. And for his sake, I'm glad that they didn't have kids. Because then she's going to get alimony too. Well, whatever. Whatever. I feel bad for my man. I do. Next top of the morning topic, the Bulls. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. The Bulls petitioned and received. They were granted a $10.2 million exemption due to the loss of Lonzo Ball this season. I think it's appropriate. I think it really benefits the club. Since Lonzo Ball has been ruled out for the entire 23-24 season, it's kind of a no-brainer. But you know what? Still got it done. And that's huge. That's huge for them. It really is. Now they can go out and look for a point guard. One who can run the show. One who can hit the three. I was talking with some people before, and I was like, you know what? What do I want? Remember, because Lonzo Ball did three things very well. He played defense very well. He ran the show very well. And he shot that three ball very well. Tough to find a point guard who can do all three. So what would you want? What two would you want? And a lot of the common answer to that is run the show and hit the three. They're not worried about him with the defense. As a team, they can kind of absorb it. Okay? But you want a guy to run the show and hit the wide open three when Zach and DeMar are slashing. Driving kick. He was at 43% before he went down. That's insane. Insane. But so now we got to find it. The world doesn't stop. The world doesn't stop because you're hurt. No one cares. Nobody cares about our guys who are hurt. Which is why we shouldn't care when other people's guys are hurt. We shouldn't care. So, good luck finding a point guard. Good luck finding someone who can run the show and hit a three. Who doesn't want more to the offense? Because we got three big stars. Who are they going to find? I don't know. Some people have mentioned Chris Paul, but he's off the market now. Where do you go? Which way do you go? Which way do you go? Which way do you go? Tough spot for this Bulls. But it's made easier by the fact that they have a little extra money now. They have a $10.2 million exemption. Okay? I think it's phenomenal. NBA did the right thing. Hands down. Did the right thing. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we'll have more sports conversation. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this year's recipient of the Jimmy V Award for Perseverance, Liam Hendricks.
Thank you guys for standing up for me. I appreciate it. But the real hero is that little lady down there, Christy. That's she's my rock. She's the best one here.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. The clip courtesy of ESPN. Those were the ESPY Awards the other day. And no surprise, Liam Hendricks got the award for perseverance after battling cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was emotional. It was pretty emotional. And now he's on the IL for us. It puts things in perspective. It puts life in perspective because he was dealing with a life or death situation. It wasn't baseball. It wasn't where he's going to live or MPHs on his fastball, movement on his, on his slider. It was life and death. And from Jump Street, he said, we're going to fight this and we're going to beat this. If you recall, he was adamant about it. He was giving no quarter at all. He was giving no inch at all. And you got to respect a guy who does that, a person who does that, because you understand that everybody can't come through it. You understand everybody doesn't have that mentality. You understand even if you have that mentality, a lot of people still succumb to cancer. He did not. We're extremely grateful for him. We're extremely grateful for his journey, his fight, because you know what it did? It inspired a lot of people. It inspired a slew of people to not give up, to continue fighting, and not just in a cancer diagnosis, but in life. Because if this guy can get up and fight and go through chemo and go through rehab to get back on the mound, come back, get a win in his first game, get a save in his second game, a strikeout in his second game, you can fight through whatever it is you're fighting for, because he was fighting literally for his life. Inspirational, moving. Yeah, it was definitely powerful. And then, man, the first thing he's like, my rock, my wife. He didn't say my wife, but he said his wife's name. And how strong she has to be. Okay, how strong she has to be, because they've got kids. She's got to support him when he's physically and mentally, emotionally weak from chemo. And she's got to be the foundation, the support for him and their kids. So hats off to his wife. Hats off to her. Christy, I believe he said her name was. That was very powerful, very moving, and the fact that everybody got up, because everybody knew his situation. It didn't matter what sport you're in, didn't matter what color you are, didn't matter how much money you made. Didn't even matter if you spoke English. Somebody that we all watched and admired for his athletic ability was now fighting for his life. And he made it through with the love and support of his family, with the love and support of his fans, the love and support of his friends. I just thought that was really, really, really cool. And he was extremely deserving of that award. I want to talk about the Northwestern thing. I'm reading the Sun-Times today that, and this is with Jeff Agrest, the sports media guy, and he did a good article on there. He talked about a couple of people here, a couple of alums. This is why it hits so personal, because there's so many Northwestern alums in the field today, from ESPN all the way down to our local television and radio outlets, and all across this country. The Medill School of Journalism is one of the most, if not the most, well-respected grad schools in the country. You come out with a degree from Medill, a master's from Medill, you're most likely going to get a job somewhere, a good paying job. Like I said, they had this little air of arrogance about them, but I won't look at it from that route. Michael Wilbon, this is according to Jeff Agrest in today's Sun-Times. Michael Wilbon is one of those guys. He is actually on their, if I'm mistaken, he's on the board of directors. I'm sorry, he's in the board of trustees for the last 15 years. He has been. And the other day he joked about it. He said, I used to be a journalist, and he said, I don't know what I am now. Native of the South Side here in Chicago. Obviously an NU alum, Northwestern alum, and a member of the Board of Trustees. And he says, he quoted on a Phoenix radio on PTI. He said, do I think we can dig our way out? Yes. There's scandals all the time that people dig their way out of. We may lose a ton of kids in the transfer portal. A new dynamic, charismatic coach can pull kids right out of the transfer portal to a school that's still top 10 academically. I'm ready to turn the page and get started with what's new. Okay. And then there's Christine Brennan, alumni member, alumni media member, and she's on NU's board as well. She's an award-winning journalist for the Washington Post and USA Today. She herself has broken her share of scandals, of stories on scandals. She still works for USA Today. She said, as a journalist, we usually do things like boards I've never had, before. I thought it was a good opportunity to speak for the journalism students to add to the diversity of the board as a woman. If I need to rescue myself from covering something, I would do that. Over the past weekend, I wondered if I should leave the board. It's a difficult spot to find yourself in, but I'm in it, I'm thinking about it, and I'm working my way through it. I take all of this very seriously, and I will continue to think about my role. Some people are willing to brave the storm. Other people are saying, hey, you know what? I think I need to step down. However, whatever reason, whether it's you feel that you don't want to represent your school that way, okay, that's cool. Or you feel that everything should change or there should be new trustees, whatever the reason, you're more than entitled to that. You're more than entitled to that. But this has gotten a pretty proud school torn. Two, and probably more, prestigious alumni torn. You know, I feel for Fitz it's tough, and here's why. Here's my little thingy. The homosexual acts of hazing, too far. Okay? Too far. Other stuff, I don't know. Again, carrying shoulder pads, picking up pizza, singing a school fight song in the school cafeteria or in a team meeting, tying a guy to a tree or the goalpost. That's fine. Look at the baseball coach. All right, he got fired for abusive behavior. Now I don't know how far that abuse went. But there's a disturbing trend here in America. And I have to preface this because Lord knows I'll be in my DMs. I don't know what all the things that Foster did, the baseball coach. Okay. If it was verbally abusive, what's abuse? And here's why I asked that, and I'm not asking that flippantly. It's not a flippant comment. Because if a coach says, get your head out of your ass, and you deem it as offensive or abusive, well, then you have a case by today's standards. See, many of you who've not played sports, you need a coach. There are coaches that bring the best out of you, and usually those are the worst ones. Those are the ones who challenge you physically, verbally. But see, the thing about coaching, and here's the issue, part of the issue that I have, especially with today's society. For me, coaching, I couldn't give a shit if any of my kids made the NFL. I would tell this to any of them. I'll reach out, see if I can get some of my former players on here. And I would tell them, I don't give a rat's ass if you ever get to the NFL. I don't care. My job is to make you a better man. And yeah, I'm going to yell at you. Yeah, I might even curse at you. I might even get in your face. But you have to understand that there's a purpose to this. There's a purpose because football is finite. Baseball is finite. Basketball is finite. Soccer is finite. You have to live a life after that. And again, I am not making excuses for Mr. Foster. Definitely not making excuses for Fitz. What I'm saying is you can't talk to athletes anyway now, and that's a shame because the process of becoming a man is a very difficult one and a very ugly one. Those of you who grew up a certain age, we get it. You have to be able to deal with what the world gives you. The world doesn't give you anything but a hard way to go and a kick in the ass. And you're going to come up against situations. You're going to come up against crisis. You're going to come up against family tragedy. You're going to come up against a lot of different things that will break many people. But our job as coaches is to get kids to become strong men and women. So when these tragedies happen, on a smaller scale, you lose a game. You lose a game that you're winning. You lose a game to a team that you had no business losing to. You lose your star player for the season. All these things that happen, guess what? You don't have time to cry. You don't have time to feel sorry for yourself because guess what? Life still happens. Your next game is still scheduled. Your next opponent is still scheduled. And in life, so when you're telling people, when people are feeling down, and you got to get people, and you have to get people focused on the next task at hand, which in football is just next week. In basketball or baseball, it's the next game. Or soccer or hockey, it's the next game. Or lacrosse, it's the next game. And there's times of practice where you're feeling down on yourselves. Guess what? That's where the coach comes in and has to pick you up. Sometimes you have to check the temperature of your team. Sometimes it's harsh military barking. Other time it's like, hey, come on, let's go. You got to feel it out. You have to. You got to do both. You got to be ready to do both as well. So I don't know. And I just wonder what they call abuse. Because if I talk to you a certain way and you didn't like it, you're going to say this is abusive. And you can go to the athletic director, the president, boosters, whatever, whoever you want, and play the victim. I'm not saying they did. Again, please. I just need you to understand it. When coaches are like the Bobby Knights, like I understand, Bobby Knights it's definitely a different time. It's tough because look at all these kids, people look at the generation we live in now. Look at a lot of these kids that are coming out. They're so self-centered. They're not team-oriented. They can't handle situations. They have a nervous breakdown if somebody doesn't like them. They have a nervous breakdown if someone talks shit about them online. They have a nervous breakdown when there's a tragedy in life. And guess what? We all have tragedies. We all have to face them. We all have to get through them. And this is where our coaches come in, especially when you're dealing with many kids who may not have a father figure in their life. And they need to handle business. They need to keep going regardless of the situation. They've already been dealt a bad hand by the fact that they don't have a father around. So I'm wondering how abusive or how quote unquote abusive this coach was. Was he calling you out of your name? Was he calling you this? Was he calling you that? Okay, yeah, that's too far. But if he's on you because he's trying to get the best out of you and you don't like it because you've been catered to and you've been the best athlete since grammar school and now you're not the best athlete, now there's people, now you're not working hard because you never had to do it before and he's trying to pull that out of you and he's on your ass all the time, that's not abuse. So I wonder, again, I don't know what went on with the baseball coach. There've been an investigation for a while. But there's a reason that many athletes go on to be successful after sports. There's a reason. Because they don't make excuses. They understand that shit happens to everybody. His mom has dementia. His dad died. His mom died of lung cancer. All these things happen. They're poor. He's got 3 younger brothers and sisters he has to take care of. All these different stories. Yet they don't feel sorry for themselves because a coach got on them. Because a coach made them realize whatever happens, I have to keep going. I have to be prepared. I have to continue for my teammates. And that's the one thing that coaches their job is to make you understand it's not about you. It's about your teammates. And in life, your teammates are your family or your friends. In school, your teammates are your teammates. And instill in you that, look, things you do affect other people. These are all lessons in life. Sports is a microcosm of life. And if this baseball coach was just yelling at people because he wanted to get the best out of them, well, guess what? And a lot of people had issues because that's not how you talk to kids anymore. Well, look at how kids are now. Look at the fact that kids have anxiety issues. They have social skills, or they lack social skills. They have communication issues. Life doesn't care. Life continues to move. There's an old saying, time and tide wait for no man. And as an athlete, you understand that you must continue to move. So when my players leave, when their football days are over, they will realize that regardless of what happens to me in life or to my family in life, I have to keep moving. I still have to provide for them if you're a man. I still have to provide for my children. I still have to provide for my wife. I still have to provide because I am the man. I can't sit there and say, oh, I need a mental break. There's ways to go get your break while you're still providing. You can go to the gym. You can go to counseling. You can go to therapy. Other guys drink. Other guys lift weights. Other guys swim. Other guys do all those and go to therapy. There's ways to do it, but you just can't stop. And sometimes people are so worried, are so concerned about how the message is delivered, as opposed to the message that's being sent. And parents, we've done a bad job. My generation especially has done a bad job of not letting your coaches yell at your kids, discipline your kids, get on your kids. Don't talk to my son that way. Don't do that. Why is my son not playing? When you go through life holding your kid's hand, taking care of all of their problems, you're hurting them more than helping them. And when you get to a person who doesn't do that, now they feel a certain way. Now they feel a certain way. Some coaches take bad standards and experience by themselves and repeat them simply because that's all they know. This is true. This is true. This is true. Not all. Not all. There's exceptions to every rule. So you look at the situation with Coach Fitz and those 11 players who said about this hazing thing. Okay. And over the 800, 1,000 other players who were supporting Fitz. Again, I am not down with the homosexual shit and the naked this and naked that, or the dry humping and all that stuff. No. But if there's a ritual that is definitely not demeaning, but then again, you decide what's demeaning. You get up and sing your school fight song, he demeaned me. I am concerned about this generation. Concerned about what they're doing to our young men. I'm concerned about, and this is a much bigger issue than just sports, but I'm dealing with it because now it's in the sports realm. Very true. It's almost like your own upbringing. Parental and tactics used on you, people may tend to repeat. May tend to. But let's be honest. Let's be honest, Nomad. Most people now, or maybe it's just my own experience, I've seen people who have come up with strict parents. I've seen far too many people who come up with strict parents who do the exact opposite, who don't hold their children accountable. And I saw it for 15 years as a teacher, as a coach. My generation and their kids, I had parents who would yell at me, "Why is my son failing your class?" Who are you talking to? I'm not your son. You need to ask your son why he's not passing my class. Your son knows how many times he didn't dress for class. Your son knows how many times he did not show up to class. Your son knows how many times he got partial credit or didn't exercise, didn't participate. Your son knows that. So don't, you know what I mean? Like, these are types of, so when we start and jump into taking care of and enabling, there you go, enabling students, athletes. This is why, this is the bad part about giving athletes so much, the star players so much. You're going to get your star, you're going to get some fringe benefits. The girl's going to like you. Newspaper articles going to want to reach you. Okay. Newspapers and podcasts and all this other stuff. But you have to make sure that you're on the same wavelength as your team. Because for that year, 2 years, at that point, you're part of a team. And when you start giving people leeway and not holding them to the same stance or holding them pretty close, because Jimmy Johnson said this, and this is so true. He said, "I treat all my players fairly. I don't treat them equally. I treat them all fairly. I don't treat them equally." And the example he used was said, if the 53rd guy in a team was late for a plane, we'd leave him and cut him. If Emmitt Smith was late for the team, we'd wait for him. I'd yell at him and tell him to sit down, maybe even fine him. But you wait. So, you got these travel leagues, you got the parents who start it, you got the travel league, you got the specialists, and I'm in that part. I speed train kids. And all these kids think they're God's gift to the world. Then all of a sudden they get to a program where you're not God's gift to the world. You get to a program where your coach is hard. He's tough. He asks no quarter, he gives no quarter. And you're not used to that. We have to start from, and don't get me wrong, there are coaches that are abusive. There are coaches who do it the wrong way. Yes. Those are the coaches we need to deal with. Mondo, I think this is a great point, Junior. When hazing takes a deviant side, then there's a problem. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It bothers me because of the way so many of our young men are. Okay? I am a product of great head coaches. I've been fortunate to have great head coaches in my entire football career. Okay? I would love, and this is why I only taught at public schools. I wanted to have some of that, bring some of that Catholic League, and that is the best. I'm not, but my upbringing was so good. I wanted to instill that in city kids who may not have good coaches. Just the other day, one of my players, I was just joking around with him. He was deadlifting 400 pounds. I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be like you. You know, I was like, I want to get strong like you, Jackie. He's like, he goes, hey, coach. He goes, you're the one who started this. He goes, you took me under your wing my senior year. I got to Curie in his senior year. My first year there was his senior year at Curie. And I was hard on him. He was the biggest kid, good, really good football player. Ended up going to Bethune-Cookman, HBCU. So I wanted these kids to understand that, yeah, I'm going to be hard on you. Why? Because I want you to be a better man. And no, I was fortunate. I never went the route because I didn't have those coaches. I didn't have those coaches who crossed the line. I didn't have those coaches. And unfortunately, there are too many of those coaches that do. One coach of those is too many. So my question to you is this. Is it all hazing or what? See, here's the thing. Because it's divisive. How is it divisive? Is it because you don't want to carry someone's shoulder pads? Is it because you have a senior who you think you're better than, or who you think you're better than, tell you to carry their shoulder pads, or tell you to carry this bat bag, or tell you to do something else? Is that divisive? Because you think you're a star? Yes. Dry humping people and doing other crazy shit like that? Yes. Agreed. But again, there are just so many soft kids nowadays because of the specialists that they go to, the speed trainers. One of them that I am, a speed trainer, or pitching coach, or quarterback coach, or hitting coach. And now you think you're God's gift to baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, track, whatever. Don't talk to me like that. Don't do this. What they're trying to do is get you to fall in line like, listen, we're all a team. We all earn our dues. You know, so again, I don't know what the baseball guy did. I'm not sure what Fitz knew, what he didn't know. But let's talk about Fitz for a second. I think he knew something was going on because he was a player there. Or he was a player there. He probably was hazed. He probably went through a ritual. He probably didn't know the extent of it. And when people say, and here's the thing that bothers me, this is why I can't stand when non-athletic people who haven't played sports, start chiming in with authority because of this. He should have known. If he didn't know, he should have known. Well, I think he knew what was going on. I think he knew there was something going on, not exactly. And my question to you, and people say it all the time, head coach has to know. Let me ask you, do you know when the first time your son had sex, or your daughter had sex, or your first time your son received an oral sex, or your daughter gave oral sex, or your daughter or your son had their first drink, or your daughter or your son smoked marijuana the first time? Do you know those times as a parent? And you're in charge of 1, 2, 3, 4 kids under your strict control. He's in charge of 100 men, young men from different backgrounds. You're not going to know everything. It's impossible. So let's stop painting him as a villain. Because of course, yes, and I get it. It's on his watch. He's responsible. But it's it's tough when you start calling him all kinds of names and calling for his job, saying he should know this, when look in our own backyards and see how many of your kids were on drugs when they had sex. Did you know the first time or the times that they did that? No, you didn't. So you expect a guy with over 100 people, 100 kids, young kids, that he's responsible for? to know exactly what they're doing at all times, it's not going to happen. Look at our own houses. How many of you didn't know your kid had sex? How many of your parents didn't know you had sex until you told them, "Oh, mom, I got this girl pregnant," or "Mom or dad, I'm pregnant." If you're a girl, so let's not be so quick to judge. And I'm not going to say there aren't things he could have done better. I'm not saying that at all. There probably could be. But in order for everybody to buy in, there's something that you have to show that you're committed. It's in any organization. Any organization. Junior, I said, I think you said it right. But when it becomes deviant, that's when there's a problem. And that's where I went too far with Fitz. With Northwestern, not Fitz. And because he was the head man, he's got to go. Because now, especially nowadays, you have people who are going to tell. You have people. Because I don't think they're trying to kill anybody. I don't think they're trying. What they're trying to do is they're trying to say, hey, listen, we need you aboard. We need you in order for us to achieve our goal, whatever goal that is. We all need to be on one page. So it's unfortunate what happened to Fitz. I think the cause was appropriate. The response was appropriate, him losing his job. But let's not forget, you're in charge of 100 young men from different backgrounds, kids, poor kids, white kids, black kids, Hispanic kids, rich, poor, middle class, some with 2 parents in the household, some with 1 parent in the household, some with no parents in the household, some who come from the hood, some who come from middle class neighborhoods, some who are coming from rich neighborhoods. And then you have all these psychological different psychologies with each kid. And to have one person know what they're doing at all times, it's impossible. But it is his responsibility to get as much information as he can about it. Now, if he knew this was going on, he needed to make sure, say, hey, listen, or if he had heard about it, at one point he needed to say, hey, listen, you need to stop that. You tie him to the goalposts, you leave him out there between practices. As long as it's not too hot and he's not going to dehydrate, okay. You make him carry your bag, you do all this, cool. This homosexual stuff, got to stop. You bring out a good point. Yeah, there's probably more. There's probably more stories like that. All we're getting is the tip of the iceberg, I believe. Just some of the stories. But it was enough to cause the investigation. It was enough to topple Pat Fitzgerald. So again, this is more than just a sports issue. This is a societal issue. I forgot who said it. Strong men make easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. What we're doing is we're creating weak men in society on a whole, not just this issue, but on a whole. It starts at home, and it transfers into the sporting world. Can't yell at my kid. I wish a parent would have said that to me. But I had, you know what? I was very fortunate. Every place I was at, I had a good amount of kids who came from feeder programs. Okay? Their parents knew. Their dads were like, shit, yell at my kid. If he screws up, yell at him. He goes, and I'll yell at him afterwards. I had moms the same way. Hey, you yell at him. And moms were like, hey, I need your help. His dad's not around. He needs to be around men. Assertive men. There's a different vibe when you're raised by a woman and you go or you're around men. There's a different vibe. There's an aura. You feel it. Or you feel it. Believe you me, I was raised by a single mom. But when my uncles came over, which they did a lot, or you knew. And my mom had no problem with them smacking me in the back of the head. What? What? No problem. There's an energy that you feel when there's a man around. Brandon, which is exactly why I raised my son who has knee life like he's grew up in the hood like I did. Mental toughness is everything. Yeah. And it's you know what? It's not even as a kid, we had consequences. That's the bottom line. I told you to do something. You didn't do it. There are consequences. Why? Because you're building what you allow to happen is what you're accepting. And what they allow to happen is what they're accepting the fact that they don't have to do anything because there's no consequences. This is where it gets iffy. Mental toughness is everything. You know, and if your kid has a good life, Brandon, hats off to you for giving him a better life than you had. That's awesome. Yes, that was one of the things. Not taking the garbage. That was a story. My grandma whooped my ass. She told me to take out the garbage, and I was scared. I had all day to do it. I had all day to do it. When I got home, told me, and Mijo, I told you to take out the garbage. And it got dark, and I got scared going from the back of the house to the alley, which is not very far. And if you live in Chicago's lot, the yard's very small. The garage is right next to it. The garbage can's right outside. I was scared. Scared to go out. A little grandma's boy, mama's boy. So I put it down by the out back door because grandma wasn't going down there. I was going to do it the next day. She looked down. You could see all the way down to the basement. She saw the bags. Beat my ass. Like, this is what I told you. This is what I needed you to do. Yeah. Accountability. Accountability, because when life holds you accountable, nice. When life hits you with a curveball, it's not nice. How many of you, and I can tell, I've met Brandon. Obviously, I know Junior. No matter, you and I have not met. But I'll tell you this, when shit hits the fan, we get shit done. When something happens, we get shit done. When something has to be done, we get it done. And we don't make a big deal about it. Why? Because we've been trained as kids growing up. A rat right up my snowsuit sleeve when I was 5. Been terrified of garbage cans ever since. Hey, I'd be too, Papa. I would be too. I ain't mad at you. That had to be crazy. That's funny. But I digress. I'm interested to see more stories about what Foster would do or Foster had done to the Northwestern baseball team, and more of the stories that come out with Northwestern's football team. You know, I really am. You know, right? There's the emasculation of the man, especially people of color in the family structure. All right, the emasculation of men in this country, as I said, especially men of color. And it's a concern for me, a big time concern. And I think that sports is a great way to develop young men into good, strong men. Because not any guys that we played with, most of the guys that we played with Won't have a mental breakdown if something goes wrong, if somebody dies, if an accident happens. Of course, we'll be sad, we may cry, but we won't have a mental breakdown where we can't function because there's consequences. When this happens, we got to do this. When this happens, we have to do that. Men or women. And we know a lot of women who do the same thing. When shit goes wrong, how many of your moms did the same thing? How many of your moms, when something happened, your dad was out and he spent the whole fucking his whole check on drinking, or he lost his job. Did they cry? No. What did they do? They went to work. They got it done. They handled it. And a lot of these kids, a lot of the way we're raising a lot of these kids nowadays won't be able to have. They need therapy. They need what'd you say, Junior? You needed a safe space so I can process what's going on. Life sometimes doesn't let you process it. Sometimes you have to process it as you're going along. Sports benefited me in my life, and I know it's benefited my boys. Cornelius, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I hope, and Brandon, you said your son's playing Pop Warner, and I only hope and pray that he has great coaches. I hope and pray. I hope and pray because, man, it's, it alleviates a lot of these issues. A lot of, coach yelled at me. Coach doesn't like me. Whenever a kid would come to me and say, well, this coach don't like me. I said, well, that's why he's not playing me. I'm like, let me tell you something. If you're not playing, if you think that he's not playing you because he doesn't like you, then you're a fool. Because his job depends on getting the best guy out there. His job is contingent on getting the best guy out there. And if you're the best guy and he's not playing you, he's going to lose his job. You think he wants to lose his job? So if this is what you feel, then here's what you're going to do. You're going to make it to the point where he has no choice but to play you. And these are life lessons. These are, instead of, he doesn't like me, I'm going to quit. I can't deal with it. He was mean to me. You flip it and you say, hey, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to make him play me. This is what sports does. Cornelius, yes. It gives you an identity. You know what it does? You know what identity is? Is a dude who gets shit done, or a person. Girls, others can be the same way. It's a person who gets shit done. That's what sports does for you. Now, you may not be the leader, but you're a hell of a worker. Everybody can't be a general. There are a lot of soldiers, and soldiers are necessary in this world. I don't mean actual soldiers, but workers. So, yes, sports, I think it's great. I think that there's, and that's why I don't know if I can coach anywhere else. Because I'm one of those guys, I get loud. And I don't demean you and say, oh, you're a piece of shit. No. I'll yell at you. I need you to run faster. You're giving me a half-ass effort. You're doing this. I need better from you. You're not giving. I'll get in your face. And if parents don't like it, get your kid out of the program that I'm coaching. Because I curse. Never curse at them. Never call kids names. But these kids are going to understand that life happens. And as they get to, if they're fortunate enough to be talented enough to get a scholarship to college, or if they want to go and they're able to make a team, they're walking on, they remember those lessons. And what we're doing is we're building kids who will not quit. We're building kids who will not crumble when life kicks them in the nuts. Yeah, you became a man on a football field, Luis. It's testosterone. It's about everybody knowing you're a young man, depending on when you started, and you're a man. You're a man. It's competition, and you want to be, for lack of a better term, one of the cool kids, one of the kids who's about it. Sports ignited my whole entire existence. I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. Why do you think I played for 30 years and coached for 16, 17? and run Sports Zone Chicago. Still doing sports. You know what I mean? So the coaches who are abusive, first we need to define what abusive is. Because if he's yelling at your kid because your kid's not giving good effort, your kid's dogging it, your kid is putting himself above the team, that's not abusive. You as a parent might think it's abusive because they're talking to Johnny a little certain way and we don't talk to him like that at the house. Well, too bad. You're not at the house. Until I say Johnny sucks or Johnny's a stupid little beep, 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 or he's a waste of time or he's a waste of this, then I've crossed the line or coaches have crossed the line. But if I'm yelling at him because I need more out of him because I see he has more that he's not giving his teammates, oh yeah, we're yelling. We're getting there. And he's going to have to learn to deal with it. Because guess what? If his boss comes and says you're fired, he's going to come and cry to you and you're going to take care of it? No. We're in the... I bet every single person in this chat who's ever coached didn't give a shit if their kid made the MLB, NBA, or NFL. You just wanted them to be a good man, a good father, a good husband, a good brother. Because that's what I did. I didn't give a shit if you made it professionally. If you did, wonderful. But I want people to be able to count on you and say, that's a stand-up dude. Because the more stand-up dudes we create as coaches, the better this society becomes. Because you have real men handling things. You have real men handling situations, not crumbling in situations. You have real men defending their families. You have real men defending their children in a way that a woman can't. And there's no slight to women. But again, there's an aura, there's a power, there's an energy when a man steps up to protect his own as opposed to a woman. I'm not saying theirs isn't effective at all. I'm saying this is a different type of effective when a man steps up for his family. So we'll see. Man, today I wish the show was 3 hours. I wish the show was 3 hours today, man. 2 hours is come and gone, man. I want to thank you guys, man. You guys were awesome. This chat was freaking live. Nomad was jumping in this joker. Luis Mejia, Brandon Livingston, Cornelius Squalls, Jr. jumping in this Mother Hubbard, boy. With your bad knees and back, Junior, you shouldn't be jumping at all. You know, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Nomad, reach out to me. I have to see what I have tentative plans on Sunday. I'd love to join the panel. If my tentative plans don't come through, okay. I appreciate it, and good luck to Northwestern. They got to find it, but man, let's stop building. Let's stop creating and fostering soft kids. Okay, let's stop doing that. Let's start making them functional members of society. We all know people. Oh, I can't let my daughter, or I can't let my son take the bus. Or we took the bus. Or I have to pick up my son or daughter from home or from work. I have to take them to work and drive. Oh, I don't remember. That was only a special occasion we got picked up or taken to work. We had to get somewhere there ourselves. We had to get down there. If you're old enough to get a job, you're old enough to get there on your own. We need to do a good job of that. And this world will be a better place, especially in sports. Well, listen, have a phenomenal weekend. I'm excited. It's going to be a hot weekend. I got a block party to go to tomorrow. Got to probably hit the pool today. Great stuff. Guys, enjoy summertime shy with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, significant other, with your kids. Do it. We all know, especially people of our ages. I got a lot of older people in here. We don't know when the last time is. All right. Make it a point so they never, ever have to worry if my mom, my dad, my uncle, my boys, my cousins, my friends, how much we care about them. Let them know. All right. I will see you on Monday. Make sure you stay tuned at 12:15. Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown are going to join us with Second City Sports. They'll give you another 2 hours of Chicago sports talk, talking baseball, talking football, probably talking some Bears as well. Definitely talking the Northwestern's situation. So, guys, sports zoners, I love you. I appreciate the support. I love the interaction, because you know what? We can disagree. We can have debates. We can disagree. My perspective isn't always right. Okay. And I appreciate when you give me a perspective that's different, because I only think like me. And we're grown enough to say, you know what? That's a great point. I didn't look at it that way. And that's one of the reasons I love you guys, is our ability to act like adults. When someone may present you with a different option, a different way of thinking than you did. And that's what's awesome about this show. That's awesome about you guys, is that one, there's no thin skin here. There's no thin skin jokers in this in this chat room. You know what I mean? None. And I think that's why we all get along so well. And I appreciate the love and the support. So it's going to be 80. If you're going down to Windy City Smokeout, man, have a great time. It's supposed to be beautiful, hot, maybe a little rain on Saturday. Maybe tonight and Saturday, but it should be over. Sunday will be really nice. Head down there if you haven't been to Windy City Smokeout. Check it out. I'm not a country dude myself by any stretch, and man, I had a good time last year. And I was working and I had a good time. So it's a pretty cool deal. Check it out. Plus, there's other fairs, other fests going on around the city. Enjoy them. If not, you got the River Walk, you got the boat cruises, you got the Sears Tower. It's still Sears to me. John Hancock. You got all these things. Buckingham Fountain. There's a whole bunch of things to do with your loved ones. Enjoy it. Summertime shy. Just make memories. When you die, you hope you die with a boatload of memories and not a boatload of regrets. All right, guys. I am out of here. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Standard Time. So for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, Steve Weekly for getting my clips together, Ellie Baez, executive producer, Clarence Council the third for my social media guy, and my co-host in absentia, Maya Kai. Guys, thank you for the love, support. I will see you on Monday. Peace out.